We provide a space primarily for Tidemill Academy. They're located across the road. We also wanted to provide a library and create something that was a lot more integrated, that met the needs of the community. This building was part of a wider master plan for Deptford, which was about creating better links into and out of Deptford. We have a new railway station that's been built. We have better leisure facilities, so we extended the swimming pool, better car parking facilities, better parks. So this was the big part, which was about providing for the community and providing for all of the new people that would be coming in and out of the area.
This started out with an idea from Lewisham Council about building a new primary school, what's called a two-form entry school for those in the know, and combining it with a public library and a community centre. So that was a pretty exciting start. We also brought into the brief housing and studios for local artists.
In terms of the outdoor learning and play space, PTA instructed a landscape architect, and they more or less camped out in the school for a week and worked with the school council, who now are actually all at secondary school, several years ago, and they used junk modelling materials and other modelling materials and tried to get the end result was an exhibition of all of their thoughts for the outdoor play space. Strangely enough, with this very challenging apparatus behind me, we were quite anxious about that initially, and we commissioned I think the organisation is the Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents, and we got a report because we wanted to make sure that it was compliant and children wouldn't be at risk. We also wanted something challenging, but quite incidentally, quite interestingly, it's resulted in less accidents. So we have fewer scrapes and scratches and bumps. We've had a couple of bangs on the head where they haven't ducked quite quick enough as they've gone tearing through the tunnels, but there's definitely been less accidents in those sort of minor first aid.
Deptford's got a very rich maritime history, so the concept for this building was about providing a boat, and there's a lot of glazing at the bottom here, so that's sort of like our sea. This ground floor area is very open purposely so that it creates the feeling of flowing, like water and movement. So this building is very, very flexible in that regard. The cladding as well is perforated, so that sort of reflects the sails, and in a different aspect, the nets to sort of catch people, and the idea of catching them and capturing their imaginations and their learning aspirations in this building. It's also gold, and it was purposely bright to provide a centre for Deptford, to provide a beacon so you could see, and sort of there are those metaphors about sort of beacon for learning. And also the glazing provides us a lot of light, so the light floods out, and again that's the idea of the water and flooding and really grasping people and drawing them into the building.
Well, the building is conceived as a new heart for Deptford, and so it's a deliberately look at me building. Most of our work is very quiet and modest and contextual, but here we set out to do something quite different, which is to make a very visible statement, and hence the gold cladding on the Deptford lounge. Now, people have different explanations for what's the meaning and why gold cladding. Other things that mean a lot to us, I think, is the big window behind me on the first floor, which gives onto the hall, the main school hall. And it is a gigantic window. It was quite complicated to design and construct, but very important, both practically and symbolically, in expressing the transparency of the building, that the children can see out, people can see in. It's not a secret, and it's not one of those awful black box halls that are more popular today.
My favourite thing about the school is the teachers and like sports, because I'm a really good sportsman.
The cage, because the cage gives you more room to do pee and play about more.
I love the tunnel.
I think one of my favourite spaces is the playground ramp, which the children designed themselves, and literally no adult had any input whatsoever. So that's just sort of testament to what children can do if they're given the opportunity and the freedom. So that's really lovely. I'm really happy with the outside sports pitch, but all of the classrooms are fantastic. I think the way that we spent, the investment in time that we spent with the architects to look at how we could really maximise that space and make it as large as possible, the issues about storage, the issues about the parallel classrooms being able to be opened up so you could teach larger groups of children, it's been hugely successful. We've had lots of visitors, and we've had lots of visitors from secondary schools who've had great pleasure in building schools through the Building Schools of the Future, and all of them remark about how fortunate we are and how lucky we are and how fabulous the resources. So we're very, very pleased with the result.